Part 1. The definition of the lonely darkness. Welcome, soul warrior, to the darkest chapter of your spiritual odyssey. A desolate expanse where the weight of solitude presses down like an unrelenting storm, threatening to consume every fragment of your being. Have you ever paused to question why loneliness wraps around you like an endless, suffocating shadow? A relentless tide that pulls you into an abyss where even your own thoughts feel like distant, haunting echoes? The lonely chapter, this barren, unforgiving season of your existence, is not merely a fleeting moment of isolation. It is a declaration of war, a merciless siege laid upon the fortress of your mind, heart, and spirit. This is a silent internal battle, waged against the demons that lurk within, your deepest fears, your crippling doubts, the invisible chains of past mistakes that bind your soul to mediocrity and despair. No one witnesses the struggle unfolding in the dead of night, under a sky that offers no stars, only darkness. No one hears the cries you swallow in silence, the raw agony of confronting your own fractured self. The pain, the doubt, the relentless fight to rise above it all. It's all concealed. A secret war revealed only when you emerge victorious, forged anew in the crucible of your own resilience. A phoenix rising from the ashes of everything that once held you captive. In the sacred teachings of Spiritism, this darkness is revered as the dark night of the soul. A karmic trial, a divine test where the light of hope seems to vanish entirely, leaving you to navigate a void that feels infinite. This is not a curse sent to break you. It is a sacred initiation, a cosmic forge where your soul is tempered like steel in the blistering heat of adversity. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, strips away the illusions, false comforts, fleeting distractions, shallow connections, to force you to confront the raw essence of who you are. Picture this. The world around you is a chaotic theater, a masquerade where souls chase ephemeral pleasures, fleeting validation and hollow applause. They perform for the crowd, lost in the noise of existence. But you? You are different. You are called to a higher purpose, to be yourself, to love being yourself, even when the path is strewn with obstacles that feel like towering walls built from the debris of past traumas, unhealed wounds, and unspoken fears. These tribulations are not mere roadblocks. They are sacred milestones in your eternal journey, each one a lesson carved into the blueprint of your soul. Every tear shed in solitude, every moment of despair that grips your heart like a vice, is a stroke of the chisel shaping you into something greater. Embrace it. Cherish it like a hidden treasure buried in the depths of your suffering. Learn to release what no longer serves your growth. Old habits that chain you to stagnation, toxic relationships that drain your light, limiting beliefs that anchor you to a version of yourself you've outgrown. Find your path, honor it with unwavering devotion, and let it become the epic love story of your soul, a narrative written in the ink of perseverance, sealed with the fire of transformation. Now imagine a spirit, your spirit, reincarnated into this earthly plane, standing alone in a void so vast it feels like the universe itself has turned its back on you. You're not just facing emptiness. You're standing before a mirror that reflects the raw, unfiltered truth of your existence, stripped bare of all pretense. No masks, no facades, just you, your soul, and the weight of your choices across lifetimes. In the American market of dark motivation, videos like Embrace the Darkness or The Dark Side of Spiritual Awakening ignite viral waves because they speak to this primal truth, resonating with millions who crave authenticity over the polished veneer of artificial cheer. This isn't about chasing fleeting happiness or clinging to shallow affirmations. It's about diving headfirst into the pain, the struggle, the suffocating loneliness, and emerging reborn. Stronger, wiser, unbreakable. Dark Motivation 2025 is not a trend. It's a rebellion against complacency, a clarion call for those who dare to walk through the shadows and emerge as titans. This is the era where solitude transforms into a superpower, where the darkest corners of your soul become the crucible for your greatness, molding you into a force the world cannot ignore. Let me guide you deeper into this vision. You stand alone in a realm of silence, where the air is thick with the weight of unspoken truths. The world around you sleeps, lost in dreams of comfort, while you remain awake, wrestling with questions that pierce the veil of existence. Why am I here? What is my purpose in this vast, indifferent cosmos? In Spiritism, these questions are the heartbeat of your soul's evolution, a sacred call to transcend the mundane and touch the eternal. The dark night of the soul is not a punishment. It's a preparation, a divine orchestration designed to strip away the superficial and reveal the indomitable spirit within. The universe doesn't coddle. It challenges. It doesn't offer easy answers. It demands you seek them in the depths of your own being. And in that brutal, unflinching confrontation with yourself, you uncover a reservoir of strength you never knew existed. A power that lies dormant until awakened by the flames of isolation and the courage to endure. Reflect on the heroes who have walked this path, their stories etched into the fabric of human resilience. Think of Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, whose legend was forged not in the roar of the crowd but in the solitary hours of practice, dribbling in the dark until his hands bled, his body screamed, and his mind transcended pain. His loneliness was not a weakness. It was the anvil upon which his greatness was hammered into existence. Or consider David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speeches like, "You owe it to you in 2025, roar with the raw truth. You owe it to yourself to push through the pain, to stay hard when the world goes soft." His words echo the essence of the lonely chapter, owing it to your soul to endure, to transform suffering into supremacy. Similarly, Alex Hormozy's "Focus on yourself and stay silent in 2025" demands, disappear, grind in silence and re-emerge unrecognizable. These voices, resonating across platforms like motivational or spiritual creators like Brian Scott, tap into a universal hunger for unfiltered truth, amassing millions of views by speaking to those who dare to embrace their shadows. Videos like "Disappear and Become Unrecognizable in 2025" have become anthems for transformation, proving that the lonely chapter is where legends are born. This is your call to action, warrior of the soul. The lonely chapter is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher, a mentor cloaked in darkness, guiding you through the fire to your true self. It's where you learn to love the battle, to revel in the struggle, to find joy in the quiet victories no one else sees or applauds. Dark spirituality isn't about escaping the pain. It's about dancing with it, letting it carve you into something unstoppable, a beacon of light born from the deepest void. As the 2025 viral hit "And No Matter What, Keep Moving" reminds us, the storm of solitude will pass, but only if you keep forging ahead, step by painful step. Your shadows may haunt you, but in their absence you become the light, a radiant force unyielding and eternal. But what if I told you that the greatest victories are born in the silence of your own soul, where no one cheers, yet your spirit roars with triumph? Stay with me because this journey is just beginning. If this darkness stirs something deep within you, hit that like button right now to claim your power. Drop a comment below. What's your lonely chapter right now? What battle are you fighting in silence? Subscribe to @Spiritist Light Journey and turn on notifications for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends who need to hear this. Let's spread the light through the shadows and monetize this journey together to inspire a global movement. Part 2. The Silent Victory and Inner Pride. Feel it, the raw, untamed surge of power that ignites your veins, a dark and unshakable force that roars to life when you realize you've set a goal and obliterated it like an invisible warrior, unseen by the world, unheard by the masses. This is the heart of the lonely chapter, a sacred solitary battlefield where no crowds cheer, no banners wave, yet the victory is yours alone, a triumph etched in the quiet, unyielding pride of your soul. In this desolate arena you place the ultimate wager, a bet on you, a gamble that defies the doubts whispering in the shadows of your mind. You've spent countless moments clapping for others, lifting their spirits when they stumble, celebrating their victories as if they were your own. You've poured your heart into their dreams, baking cakes, crafting cookies, weaving your energy into the fabric of their lives to sweeten their paths through life's unrelenting chaos. But when was the last time you stood before a mirror, gazed into the weary depths of your own eyes, and believed, truly fiercely believed, in the soul staring back? The time has come, warrior of the spirit, to anchor your faith in yourself with a conviction so powerful it could shatter mountains, rend the heavens and silence the storms within. Because you have it, the fire that consumes doubt, the strength that defies despair, the unyielding spirit that rises from the abyss to claim its rightful destiny. Dark Motivation 2025 isn't just a phrase. It's a volcanic eruption of transformation, born in the deepest chasms of your being, where pain and perseverance collide to forge an unbreakable will that echoes across lifetimes. In the sacred teachings of Spiritism, This act of belief is the cornerstone of self-knowledge, the eternal odyssey of the soul that weaves through countless incarnations, each one a chapter in the grand, cosmic tapestry of your existence. To embrace the lonely chapter is to embrace the solitude that sculpts you, to step willingly into the silence and let it become your greatest teacher, your fiercest ally. When was the last time you sat alone with your thoughts, stripped bare of the world's distractions, with nothing but the steady, haunting rhythm of your own heartbeat to anchor you in the void? To conquer the lonely chapter, you must not flee from its shadows. You must plunge into their depths, let their weight envelop you like a shroud, and unearth the truths they guard with unrelenting ferocity. I wasn't invited to parties or warm family gatherings on weekends. The world seemed to close its doors, casting me into the cold embrace of isolation. So on those desolate Fridays and Saturdays, I sought refuge in a dimly lit rec room, my only companion a weathered basketball, its surface worn from countless battles against the hardwood. I dribbled until my hands ached, until my body begged for mercy, until exhaustion pulled me into a dreamless sleep. Those solitary hours weren't a curse, they were a revelation, a sacred communion with my own potential. In the silence I discovered a hunger that roared louder than any crowd, a motivation that burned brighter than any spotlight, a desire to become the greatest version of myself, to transform fleeting potential into enduring, unshakable mastery. Picture yourself standing alone in a vast, ancient cathedral, its towering stone walls etched with the echoes of your own doubts, dreams, and unspoken fears. The world outside hums with noise, laughter, clinking glasses, the fleeting joys of those who chase temporary highs in a masquerade of existence. But within these hallowed walls, it's just you and your soul, locked in a timeless dance of self-discovery, each step a defiance of the darkness that seeks to consume you. In Spiritism, this solitude is a divine gift, a sacred moment when the veil between the material and spiritual realms thins, revealing glimpses of your eternal purpose. A purpose that transcends this single lifetime and stretches across the infinite expanse of your soul's journey. The lonely chapter is not a place of defeat but a crucible where you confront the shadows within, not to vanquish them, but to understand their power, to harness their energy, to weave them into the fabric of your strength. Every goal you set, every obstacle you overcome in the quiet of your own heart, is a testament to your inner pride, a silent victory that needs no external validation to shine like a beacon in the night. This is the essence of dark spirituality. Finding light in the void, strength in the silence, and pride in the battles no one else sees. Now let's journey deeper into this truth. Imagine standing at the edge of a jagged cliff, the wind howling with the weight of your unspoken fears, the ocean below churning like the chaos within your soul, its waves crashing with the fury of 1,000 unresolved battles. In this moment you are not just alone, you are free. Free to confront the truths you've buried beneath layers of pretense, free to face the parts of yourself you've hidden from the world, free to forge a new destiny in the fires of solitude. In Spiritism, this is the journey of the soul toward enlightenment, where each solitary struggle is a step closer to transcending the limitations of this incarnation, a step toward aligning with the divine purpose that has guided you through countless lives. Those nights I spent dribbling in the dark weren't just about basketball. They were about forging a purpose that burned brighter than any external reward, a purpose that anchored me to my own potential. They were about realizing that the lonely chapter is a forge where your spirit is hammered into something unbreakable, where every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt you push through, becomes a brick in the monument of your inner pride. A monument that stands eternal, untouched by the fleeting judgments of the world. Reflect on the legends who've walked this path, their stories carved into the annals of human resilience like sacred texts. Picture Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, alone in a gym at 3 a.m., the squeak of his sneakers against the hardwood the only sound in a world cloaked in sleep. His solitary grind wasn't for fame or fleeting glory. It was for the quiet, unshakable pride of knowing he gave everything body and soul to become a master of his craft, a legend whose legacy echoes beyond the court. In the 2025 viral anthem, "You Owe It To You in 2025, David Goggins roars, "The only person who can change your life is you. Stop waiting for permission and start running through the pain." His words capture the heart of the silent victory, achieving greatness in the shadows, where the only witness is your own relentless spirit. Similarly, Alex Hormozi's "Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent in 2025" demands, Work in the dark. Let your results scream in the light. These voices, amplified by channels like motivational or spiritual creators like Brian Scott, resonate with millions because they speak to the universal truth of the lonely chapter. The greatest battles are fought in solitude, and the sweetest victories are those you claim for yourself, uncelebrated, yet eternal. But let's dive even deeper. Consider the story of a lesser-known hero. Someone like you, perhaps, who faced their own lonely chapter and emerged transformed. Picture a young woman, let's call her Maya, who grew up feeling like an outsider, never invited to the gatherings that filled others' lives with warmth. In her solitude, she turned to writing, pouring her pain onto pages that no one read, crafting stories of resilience in the dark. Those lonely nights became her forge, where she discovered a voice so powerful, it would one day inspire thousands. Her silent victories, each word written, each fear faced, built a pride that no rejection could shatter. In the US, the dark motivation movement thrives because it speaks to souls like Maya's, to those who are tired of excuses and ready to embrace solitude as a superpower. Videos like Disappear and Become Unrecognizable in 2025 go viral because they challenge viewers to grind in silence, to let their transformation be their loudest statement. Your lonely chapter is your training ground, your battlefield, your sanctuary. A place where you learn to bet on yourself, to believe in yourself with a ferocity that defies the world's indifference, to love the warrior within even when the world turns away. Your tomorrow will be greater than today, but only because of the seeds you plant in this very moment, in the quiet hours when no one is watching. Your future, your legacy across lifetimes, depends on the responsibility you take right now, in the stillness where your soul speaks loudest. In Spiritism, this is the karmic cycle of growth, where each solitary struggle refines your spirit, preparing you for the next chapter of your eternal journey. As the 2025 viral hit, "And No Matter What, Keep Moving" reminds us, the storm of solitude will pass, but only if you keep forging ahead, step by painful step. Your silent victories are not just achievements, they are the foundation of your soul's evolution, the proof that you are becoming unstoppable, a force of light born from the deepest darkness. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to rise, to embrace the lonely chapter as the crucible where your inner pride is forged, where your spirit becomes a beacon that no shadow can extinguish. But what if I told you that your future hinges on the courage you muster today? In the quiet moments when no one is watching, when your soul alone bears witness to your greatness. Stay with me because the path to your silent victory is just beginning. If this stirs the warrior within you, smash that like button to honor your silent victories. Drop a comment below. What goal have you crushed alone in the shadows? What have you dribbled through to win? Subscribe to @Spiritist Light Journey and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends fighting their own lonely chapter. Let's grow this movement together, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to rise from the abyss. Part 3: Responsibility. Stop blaming and master your destiny. Your future is not a distant mirage shimmering on the horizon. It is a seed, fragile yet potent, planted in the fertile soil of this very moment, shaped by the choices you dare to make today. Stop pointing fingers into the shadows, stop casting blame onto others for the weight of your struggles, and seize the mantle of total, unrelenting responsibility for your life. We live in a generation drowning in a sea of excuses, where every soul points to another for their failures, their shortcomings, their stagnation, as if the world owes them salvation. The seductive lie of blame keeps you chained to the same barren wasteland, trapped in a cycle of pain and unfulfilled potential, staring into the void of what could have been. To break free, you must own it all: where you stand, who you are, how you feel, what you've become, and why. Own the victories that light your soul, the scars that mark your journey, the mistakes that haunt your sleepless nights. If you don't, a year from now, you'll find yourself standing in the same desolate place, surrounded by different faces, different colors, but shackled to the same lifeless position, your dreams reduced to echoes in the abyss. Dark Motivation 2025 demands more. It demands you rise, take the reins of your fate, and master your destiny with a resolve that could shatter the stars. What will you do today, warrior of the soul? Will you let this day slip through your fingers like grains of sand, lost to the winds of indecision? Or will you dominate it, carve it into a monument of your will, a testament to your unyielding spirit? Today, I choose to reign over this moment, to instill change like a blacksmith forging iron, to build new routines that stand as pillars of my future, to sever the toxic ties that bind me to mediocrity, to manifest the life I envision with every pulse of my being. This is how my tomorrow becomes brighter, stronger, eternal. A legacy that transcends time itself. In the realm of dark motivation, think of Kevin Durant, a silent assassin on the court, his presence a quiet storm that unnerves opponents without a single word. He doesn't taunt, doesn't provoke, doesn't waste energy on bravado, he simply does. He scores with precision, moves on with purpose, and at the end of the game he kisses his mother, embraces his brothers and walks away. But pause and observe. Before he steps into the arena, what's the first thing he does? He touches the numbers on his jersey, a solemn tribute to a coach lost to tragedy. That gesture isn't for the cameras, it's his why, his deep, unshakable reason for playing. He doesn't chase championships for fleeting glory. He plays for a purpose rooted in love, loss, and legacy. A purpose that burns brighter than any spotlight. In the sacred teachings of Spiritism, your why is karmic. A mission etched into the very essence of your soul. A thread that weaves through the tapestry of countless incarnations, guiding you toward enlightenment. Solitude is your superpower. A hallowed space where you unearth this purpose, where the silence becomes a mirror reflecting the eternal truth of who you are meant to be. To embrace the lonely chapter is to refuse to smile until you've conquered, to let your victories speak louder than any cheer. The world may see Kevin Durant's silence as cold, but it's the fire of purpose burning within, a fire that fuels every step, every shot, every triumph. In the US, dark motivation videos like Move in Silence Powerful Motivational Speech Video 2025 ignite viral waves because they echo this truth. True power lies in the quiet, relentless pursuit of your why. Channels like Part 3 Responsibility. Stop blaming and master your destiny. Your future is not a distant mirage shimmering on the horizon. It is a seed, fragile yet potent, planted in the fertile soil of this very moment, shaped by the choices you dare to make today. Stop pointing fingers into the shadows, stop casting blame onto others for the weight of your struggles, and seize the mantle of total, unrelenting responsibility for your life. We live in a generation drowning in a sea of excuses, where every soul points to another for their failures, their shortcomings, their stagnation, as if the world owes them salvation. The seductive lie of blame keeps you chained to the same barren wasteland, trapped in a cycle of pain and unfulfilled potential, staring into the void of what could have been. To break free, you must own it all: where you stand, who you are, how you feel, what you've become, and why. Own the victories that light your soul, the scars that mark your journey, the mistakes that haunt your sleepless nights. If you don't, a year from now, you'll find yourself standing in the same desolate place, surrounded by different faces, different colors, but shackled to the same lifeless position, your dreams reduced to echoes in the abyss. Dark Motivation 2025 demands more. It demands you rise, take the reins of your fate, and master your destiny with a resolve that could shatter the stars. What will you do today, warrior of the soul? Will you let this day slip through your fingers like grains of sand, lost to the winds of indecision? Or will you dominate it, carve it into a monument of your will, a testament to your unyielding spirit? Today, I choose to reign over this moment, to instill change like a blacksmith forging iron, to build new routines that stand as pillars of my future, to sever the toxic ties that bind me to mediocrity, to manifest the life I envision with every pulse of my being. This is how my tomorrow becomes brighter, stronger, eternal. A legacy that transcends time itself. In the realm of dark motivation, think of Kevin Durant, a silent assassin on the court, his presence a quiet storm that unnerves opponents without a single word. He doesn't taunt, doesn't provoke, doesn't waste energy on bravado, he simply does. He scores with precision, moves on with purpose, and at the end of the game he kisses his mother, embraces his brothers and walks away. But pause and observe. Before he steps into the arena, what's the first thing he does? He touches the numbers on his jersey, a solemn tribute to a coach lost to tragedy. That gesture isn't for the cameras, it's his why, his deep, unshakable reason for playing. He doesn't chase championships for fleeting glory. He plays for a purpose rooted in love, loss, and legacy. A purpose that burns brighter than any spotlight. In the sacred teachings of Spiritism, your why is karmic. A mission etched into the very essence of your soul. a thread that weaves through the tapestry of countless incarnations, guiding you toward enlightenment. Solitude is your superpower, a hallowed space where you unearth this purpose, where the silence becomes a mirror reflecting the eternal truth of who you are meant to be. To embrace the lonely chapter is to refuse to smile until you've conquered, to let your victories speak louder than any cheer. The world may see Kevin Durant's silence as cold, but it's the fire of purpose burning within, a fire that fuels every step, every shot, every triumph. In the US, dark motivation videos like Move in Silence Powerful Motivational Speech Video, 2025, ignite viral waves because they echo this truth. True power lies in the quiet, relentless pursuit of your why. Channels like Part 4. The Deep Why and the Strength of the Heart. How desperately do you want it? How fiercely does your soul burn for your purpose? A fire so intense it could consume the darkness that surrounds you. If you want it with every fiber of your being, with a hunger that gnaws at the core of your existence, you will work for it, relentlessly, unapologetically through the pain and the doubt. And when you work with that kind of ferocity, you will win, not for the applause of the world, but for the quiet, unshakable triumph of your heart. Think of Kevin Durant, a silent titan on the court, his face a mask of unyielding focus, refusing to smile until the trophy is in his hands, because what he seeks, what drives him, he hasn't yet claimed. His why is his anchor, his reason for rising above exhaustion, for pushing past defeat. The problem with so many? They falter, giving only a fraction of their potential because they lack a why. A deep, soul-stirring reason that fuels their fire, that keeps them moving when the world falls silent. But you? You are different. You have more than what it takes. You have heart, the raw, pulsating courage to be an independent thinker, to stand alone in the storm of doubt and carve your own path through the darkness, a path illuminated by the strength of your soul. Dark Motivation 2025 isn't just about chasing goals. It's about unearthing the why that makes every step a testament to your unbreakable spirit, a declaration that you are here to rewrite the stars. Independent thinkers are the rarest of warriors, their minds a fortress of conviction, their voices a flame that no shadow can extinguish, burning bright in a world that demands conformity. There is nothing more valuable than the courage to express your ideas with passion, with unapologetic certainty, standing tall against the tides of judgment and expectation. If someone corrects you, embrace it. Let their wisdom sharpen your blade, refine your vision, make you stronger. Or inspire them to stand as boldly as you, to speak their truth with the same fire that courses through your veins. This courage doesn't just transform you. It ripples outward like a stone cast into a still lake, igniting the spirits of those around you, from the children who watch in awe to the souls who feel your strength in silence, their own hearts stirred by your defiance. In the niche of dark spirituality, this is the awakening of the shadow self, the light of your truth born from the depths of independence, a beacon that shines brightest in the heart of darkness, illuminating the path for others lost in the void. In Spiritism, this is the soul's rebellion against the chains of fear, a sacred declaration that you are here to forge your own destiny, to rise as a champion crafted in the crucible of solitude, to become a force that echoes across lifetimes. Imagine a spirit, your spirit, reincarnated into this life, standing alone in a vast starless void, where the silence is so profound it feels like the universe itself is holding its breath. You are not just alone, you are questioning everything. Why am I here? What is my purpose in this infinite expanse? What legacy will I leave across the eternities? A mark that will endure beyond the fleeting moments of this incarnation. This solitude is not your enemy. It's your forge, the sacred fire where champions are crafted, where the raw material of your soul is shaped into something extraordinary. Every doubt you face, every question you wrestle with, is a hammer strike forging your spirit into a blade of unbreakable resolve. In the US, dark motivation videos like Move in Silence Powerful Motivational Speech Video 2025 resonate because they speak to this primal truth. Your why is your power, your compass through the lonely chapter, guiding you through the shadows to a destiny only you can claim. Channels like Motivation Arc or spiritual creators like Brian Scott tap into this universal hunger, amassing millions of views by urging viewers to unearth their purpose and let it be their guide through the darkness, transforming solitude into a superpower that reshapes their reality. Picture yourself in a desolate, windswept valley, the ground cracked and barren beneath your feet, the air heavy with the weight of your unspoken dreams. The world around you buzzes with noise, empty chatter, fleeting pleasures, the clamor of lives chasing temporary highs. But here, in this sacred solitude, it's just you and your heart, beating with a rhythm that echoes across lifetimes, a pulse that carries the weight of your eternal purpose. In Spiritism, this is the moment of awakening, where the soul confronts its karmic mission, where the silence becomes a canvas for your deepest truths, a sacred space where you paint the vision of who you are meant to be. Your why is not just a reason. It's the fire that burns through doubt, the anchor that holds you steady in the storm, the light that guides you when all else fades into shadow. To embrace the lonely chapter is to embrace this truth. You are here to create, to rise, to become a force that the universe cannot ignore, a force that reshapes the very fabric of existence. Let's plunge deeper into this truth. Imagine standing on the edge of a jagged cliff, the wind howling with the ferocity of your unresolved fears, the ocean below churning with the chaos of 1,000 unfulfilled dreams. In this moment, you are not just alone. You are free to confront the truths you've buried beneath layers of doubt, free to face the parts of yourself you've hidden from the world, free to forge a destiny that is yours alone. In Spiritism, this is the soul's journey toward enlightenment, where the courage to think independently becomes a spark that ignites the eternal flame within, a flame that burns brighter with every step you take in the dark. Those who lack a why falter, their efforts scattered like ashes in the wind, but you have heart, a strength that defies the storms, a courage that dares to question, to create, to stand alone. Your why is your rebellion, your refusal to bow to the world's expectations, your commitment to forge a path that is uniquely, unapologetically yours. Reflect on the legends who've walked this path, their hearts fueled by a why that transcended the ordinary. Picture Kevin Durant, touching the numbers on his jersey before every game, a silent tribute to a coach whose loss carved a wound in his soul, a wound that became his strength. That gesture is his anchor, his reason to push beyond exhaustion, beyond defeat, beyond the noise of the world. His silence isn't weakness. It's the strength of a heart driven by purpose, a purpose that burns brighter than any championship. Or consider David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speech, "You owe it to you" in 2025 roars. Your purpose is your weapon. Use it to carve your path through the pain, to cut through the darkness. His words ignite millions because they demand you find your why, and let it fuel your fight, no matter the odds. Similarly, Alex Hormozy's "Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent" in 2025 insists, your why is your edge, grind in the dark, and let your victories speak. These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring souls to stop seeking validation and start seeking purpose, to transform their pain into power. Now imagine a woman named Amara, a soul who felt lost in a world that demanded she conform, that told her her dreams were too big, her voice too loud, her heart too wild. She was silenced, dismissed, pushed into the shadows. But in her lonely chapter, she found her why. A burning desire to create, to inspire, to leave a mark that would echo beyond her lifetime. Alone in her room, she began to paint, each stroke a defiance of doubt, each canvas a silent victory that no one else saw. Her heart, once heavy with fear, became her strength, guiding her to a life of purpose, a life that radiated light into the darkness. In Spiritism, this is the soul's rebellion, the moment when you choose to stand alone, to think independently, to let your heart lead you through the shadows. Amara's story is yours, a reminder that your why is your power, your courage to be different, to be bold, to be unapologetically you. Let's weave in another story, one of a young man named Malik, who grew up in a world that tried to mold him into someone he wasn't. He was told to follow the crowd, to quiet his questions, to dim his light. But in the solitude of his lonely chapter, he discovered his why, a desire to build, to innovate, to create a legacy that would inspire generations. He spent nights alone, sketching ideas, studying, dreaming in the dark. Each silent victory, each moment he chose to believe in his heart's strength, was a step toward a destiny he crafted with his own hands. In the US, the dark motivation movement thrives because it speaks to souls like Malik's, to those who are tired of conformity and ready to embrace their independence as a superpower. Videos like "Disappear and Become Unrecognizable" in 2025 go viral because they challenge viewers to grind in silence, to let their transformation be their loudest statement. This is about you. Believe in yourself, not just in your talents, not just in your achievements, but in the raw, unfiltered essence of who you are, beyond the sports, beyond the accolades, beyond the roles you play in this fleeting world. Believe in the heart that beats within, the spirit that refuses to break, the courage that dares to stand alone. In the lonely chapter, your ability to think independently is your greatest weapon, a blade forged in the fires of solitude, sharpened by the strength of your heart. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace this truth. Your why is your power, your heart is your guide, and your victories, silent, unseen, are the foundation of a legacy that will outlast the stars, a legacy that will ripple through the eternities. But what if I told you that your deepest why could ignite a fire so powerful it could light up the universe, a flame that burns across lifetimes? Stay with me, because the journey to unleash your heart's strength is just beginning. If this stirs the fire in your heart, smash that like button to honor your purpose. Drop a comment below. What's your deepest, darkest why? What idea burns in your soul? Subscribe to @Spiritus Light Journey, and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends searching for their own purpose. Let's build this movement together, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to unleash their hearts. Part 5. Believe in yourself beyond appearances. Step away from the noise of the world for a moment. Cast aside the sports, the titles, the fleeting accolades that fade like whispers carried away by a restless wind. Look deeper past the surface, into the raw, unfiltered essence of your being, where the truth of who you are resides. Do you believe in you? Strip away the layers, the jersey emblazoned with bold numbers, the family name stitched across your shoulders, the roles you've worn like armor to appease a world that demands conformity. If you were left with nothing, no possessions, no titles, no external markers of success, would you still stand tall, unwavering, and declare yourself a force destined to reshape the universe? The answer is a resounding, soul-shaking yes. Believe in yourself with a certainty so fierce it could shatter the illusions of this world. A conviction that burns through the shadows of doubt like a wildfire through dry brush. I don't care if I had sports, a stage, or a spotlight. I'd still be someone. A soul forged to shift the tides of society, to carve a legacy that echoes across the eternities. The divine placed a spark within me, a talent that could have been a basketball, a pen, or a dream. But it's my belief in myself that turned that spark into a blaze, a fire that no darkness can extinguish. Dark Motivation 2025 isn't about what you have or what the world sees. It's about who you are when everything else is stripped away, when the only thing left is the fire in your soul, roaring with purpose, unyielding and eternal. Believing in yourself is more than fleeting confidence. It's a sacred wager, a relentless bet on your own potential, a vow to rise no matter how many times the world tries to break you. I'm betting on me, staking everything on the truth that I can shake the foundations of this earth, that I can move mountains with the strength of my heart. That's why I walk with purpose, my steps heavy with the weight of destiny. Why I speak with conviction, my voice a blade slicing through the noise of a world lost in chaos. Why I move with the ferocity of a soul that refuses to be tamed. But this belief isn't just for you. It's for the person standing next to you, the soul fighting their own silent battles in the shadows of their lonely chapter. Lift them up, share the fire of your conviction, apply the lessons you've carved from the crucible of your struggles. There will be obstacles, storms that rage with unrelenting fury, doubts that claw at your resolve like wolves in the night. But know this, the divine is by your side, an eternal presence guiding you through the darkness. In Spiritism, this is your spiritual guide, the unseen light that walks with you, whispering courage when the weight of the lonely chapter feels too heavy to bear, reminding you that your belief is a beacon, not just for you, but for every soul you touch, a light that ripples through the world, igniting hope in the hearts of the lost. Picture yourself walking along a deserted beach at midnight, the waves crashing with the rhythm of your heartbeat, their roar a mirror to the turmoil within your soul. The stars are hidden behind a veil of clouds, and the world is silent, but you are not alone. You are speaking to the divine, your voice raw, unfiltered, pouring out your fears, your dreams, your anger, your hopes. Curse if you must, cry if you need to, laugh if your soul demands it, but speak. The divine knows you, has known you since the moment your spirit took its first breath in this incarnation, through every lifetime before, and every one yet to come. This conversation, this sacred communion, is where you find your strength, where you uncover a belief that transcends appearances, that defies the world's shallow judgments, that anchors you in the truth of who you are. In Spiritism, this is the dialogue between your soul and the infinite, a sacred exchange that reveals your eternal essence, a truth that no failure can dim, no rejection can break, no shadow can consume. Your belief in yourself is not just a thought, it's a vow, a sacred promise to honor the spark of the divine within you, to rise as a warrior of the soul, unyielding and unstoppable. Too many drift through life, accepting whatever scraps the world hands them because they've never dared to look within and ask what they truly want. They settle for less than their soul deserves, lost in the fog of indecision, tethered to lives that feel like shadows of what could have been. They accept mediocrity because they don't know their own worth, because they've never paused to listen to the quiet voice of their heart. But what if I told you I could help you discover your deepest desire? The truth that burns within you like a hidden star waiting to blaze across the sky. What if I told you that your "I believe in me" moment is waiting, ready to ignite a revolution in your life, a fire that could set the world ablaze with your purpose? In the US, dark motivation videos like "Disappear and Become Unrecognizable" in 2025 go viral because they challenge viewers to strip away the external, to believe in themselves beyond the surface, to grind in silence until their results roar louder than any applause. Channels like Motivation Arc or spiritual creators like Brian Scott tap into this universal hunger, amassing millions of views by urging viewers to embrace their inner strength, to let their belief guide them through the shadows, transforming solitude into a superpower that reshapes their reality. Imagine standing in a vast, shadowed forest, the air thick with the scent of earth and the weight of your unspoken dreams. The trees loom like ancient sentinels, their branches clawing at a starless sky, and the silence is so profound it feels like the universe is holding its breath, waiting for you to speak your truth. Here in this sacred solitude, it's just you and your heart, beating like a war drum, each pulse a testament to your belief in yourself. In this moment you confront the truth. You are more than your circumstances, more than your failures, more than the labels the world tries to pin on you. In Spiritism, this is the moment of awakening, where your soul recognizes its eternal purpose, where your belief becomes a bridge between this life and the infinite, a lifeline that pulls you through the darkness. Your why is not just a goal. It's the fire that burns through doubt, the anchor that holds you steady in the storm, the light that guides you when all else fades into shadow. To embrace the lonely chapter is to embrace this truth. You are here to create, to rise, to become a force that the universe cannot ignore, a force that reshapes the very fabric of existence. Let's plunge deeper into this truth. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a jagged cliff, the wind howling with the ferocity of your unresolved fears, the ocean below churning with the chaos of 1,000 unfulfilled dreams. In this moment you are not just alone. You are free to confront the truths you've buried beneath layers of doubt, free to face the parts of yourself you've hidden from the world, free to forge a destiny that is yours alone. In Spiritism, this is the soul's journey toward enlightenment, where the courage to believe in yourself becomes a spark that ignites the eternal flame within, a flame that burns brighter with every step you take in the dark. Those who lack belief falter, their efforts scattered like ashes in the wind, but you have heart, a strength that defies the storms, a courage that dares to question, to create, to stand alone. Your belief is your rebellion, your refusal to bow to the world's expectations, your commitment to forge a path that is uniquely, unapologetically yours. Reflect on the legends who've lived this truth, their belief a flame that no storm could extinguish. Picture Kobe Bryant, alone in a gym at 3 a.m., his sweat pooling on the hardwood, driven not by fame but by an unshakable belief in his own potential, a belief that turned him into a legend whose legacy echoes beyond the court. Or consider David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speech, "You Owe It to You" in 2025 thunders. Your belief in yourself is your greatest weapon. Use it to fight through the pain, to carve your path through the darkness. His words ignite millions because they demand you strip away the external and trust the fire within, no matter the odds. Similarly, Alex Hormozy's "Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent" in 2025 insists. Your belief is your foundation. Build on it, and the world will feel your impact. These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring millions to believe beyond appearances, to transform their pain into power, to let their silent victories speak louder than any crowd. Now imagine a woman named Lila, a soul who felt invisible, defined by her roles: daughter, employee, friend, but never by her own truth. The world told her she was not enough, that her dreams were too big, her voice too small, her heart too wild. But in her lonely chapter, she began to walk alone, speaking to the divine under a starless sky, pouring out her fears and dreams in a raw, unfiltered conversation. In those moments she discovered her why. A desire to create, to inspire, to live a life that mattered beyond the fleeting judgments of the world. Her belief in herself, born in the crucible of solitude, became her strength, guiding her to a destiny she never thought possible. In Spiritism, this is the soul's dialogue with the divine, a sacred conversation that reveals your eternal essence, a truth that no failure can dim, no rejection can break, no shadow can consume. Let's weave in another story of a young man named Tariq, who grew up believing his worth was tied to his accolades, his job, his status in a world that demanded conformity. He felt like a shadow defined by what others expected, never by what his heart yearned for. But in the silence of his lonely chapter, he began to question everything. He walked through empty streets at dawn, speaking to the divine, asking, "Who am I without all this?" The answer came not in words but in a feeling, a deep, unshakable belief in his own worth, a conviction that he could change the world. He started small, writing, learning, creating in the dark, each step a silent victory that no one else saw. His belief became his power, his heart his guide, his courage his compass through the shadows. Picture another soul, a woman named Aisha, who spent years hiding her true self, afraid to shine in a world that punished difference. The weight of expectations pressed down on her, silencing her voice, dimming her light. But in her lonely chapter, she found her strength. She began to sing, her voice echoing through empty rooms, each note a defiance of the world's expectations, each melody a silent victory. Her belief in herself, forged in solitude, became a song that carried her through the darkness, a melody that inspired others to find their own light. In Spiritism, this is the soul's awakening, the moment when you realize that your belief is not just for you. It's a gift to the world, a light that shines for those still lost in their own shadows, a fire that burns across lifetimes. And consider one more story of a man named Javier, who grew up in a world that told him his dreams were impossible, his voice insignificant. He carried the weight of rejection, of failure, of a life that felt like it was slipping away. But in the silence of his lonely chapter, he began to listen to his heart. He sat alone under a vast starless sky, speaking to the divine, pouring out his doubts and his hopes. In those moments he found his why, a desire to build, to create, to leave a legacy that would outlast his pain. He began to write, to dream, to act, each step a testament to his belief in himself. His silent victories, unseen by the world, became the foundation of a life transformed, a life that radiated light into the darkness. This is about you. Believe in yourself. Not just in your talents, not just in your achievements, but in the raw, eternal essence of who you are. Beyond the sports, beyond the titles, beyond the fleeting appearances of this world. You are more than what the world sees, more than the roles you play, more than the scars you carry. You are a soul forged in the fires of solitude, a heart that beats with the rhythm of eternity, a spirit that refuses to be broken. In the lonely chapter, your belief is your weapon, your heart your shield, your courage your guide. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace this truth. Your belief in yourself is the foundation of a legacy that will outlast the stars, a light that shines through the deepest darkness, a fire that burns across lifetimes, igniting a revolution that reshapes the universe. But what if I told you that your belief could spark a fire so powerful it could light up the cosmos? A flame that burns through the illusions of the world and lights the way for generations. Stay with me, because the journey to discover your deepest truth is just beginning. If this stirs the fire in your soul, smash that like button to honor your belief. Drop a comment below. What's your "I believe in me" moment? When did you feel the strength of your own heart? Subscribe to Spiritist Light Journey and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends searching for their own truth. Let's build this movement together, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to believe beyond appearances. Part 6. Discover what you want and pursue it relentlessly. If I could do one thing for you, it would be to send you away from this moment with a fire blazing in your soul, a fire fueled by the unshakable knowledge of what you want. Not the fleeting desires the world tries to sell you, but the deep, soul-stirring truth that defines your existence. In your marriage, with your children, in your health, your finances, what do you want to earn? What car do you want to drive? What kind of life do you want to live, not just for today, but for the legacy that will echo across lifetimes? Stop waking up by accident, stumbling through days like a weary traveler lost in a fog of indecision. Stop letting life happen to you, dragging you along its currents. Discover your deepest desire, the truth that burns within like a hidden star, and spend every moment of your existence chasing it with unrelenting ferocity, with a hunger that could consume the darkness itself. This is the heart of Dark Motivation 2025. The Dark Hunt, a relentless pursuit through the shadows until you break into the light of your destiny. No matter the storms that rage, no matter the obstacles that tower before you, keep moving forward. Storms end, but only those who are ready, those who never stop, emerge stronger, their spirits forged in the crucible of their pursuit. In the niche of dark spirituality, this is the soul's sacred quest, a journey through the lonely chapter to uncover your karmic purpose and chase it without mercy, without pause, without surrender, aligning your spirit with the eternal mission that spans countless incarnations. Failure is not your enemy. It's an illusion, a mirage that dissolves when you see it for what it is. Life is not a fairy tale where happily ever after marks the end of the story. It's an epic saga, a relentless battle where every chapter brings new challenges, new struggles, new triumphs. You stumble on Monday, rise on Tuesday wiser, stronger, fiercer. Every failure is a lesson, every setback a forge where your resolve is tempered into something unbreakable. Those who are truly committed don't just set goals, they shatter them, forge new ones, and push the boundaries of what's possible, redefining their destiny with every step. In Spiritism, this is the karmic cycle of growth, where every challenge is a sacred opportunity to refine your soul, to align it with the eternal purpose that guides you across lifetimes. The Dark Hunt is not about perfection. It's about persistence, about chasing your truth through the deepest shadows until it shines brighter than any star, a beacon that lights the way for your soul's evolution. Picture yourself standing alone in a vast, windswept desert, the horizon shimmering with the heat of your unspoken dreams, the sand beneath your feet whispering the stories of those who came before you. The world is silent, but your heart beats like a war drum, each pulse a call to action, a reminder that you were born to chase something greater than yourself. What do you want? Not the shallow desires fed to you by a world obsessed with appearances, money, fame, fleeting pleasures, but the deep, soul-stirring truth that defines your existence, the purpose that sets your spirit ablaze. In this moment, you are not just alive. You are awake, aware, ready to pursue your purpose with a relentlessness that defies the storms, that laughs in the face of doubt. In Spiritism, this is the moment when your soul aligns with its karmic mission, when the lonely chapter becomes a sacred arena where you discover what you want and vow to chase it without pause, without pity, without surrender. Your pursuit is a sacred act, a testament to your eternal spirit, a vow to honor the divine spark within you. In the US, dark motivation videos like No Excuses, Powerful Motivational Speech, 2025, ignite viral waves because they tap into this primal hunger, urging viewers to define their desires and pursue them with unwavering determination, no matter the cost. Channels like Motivation Arc or spiritual creators like Brian Scott amass millions of views by reminding us that the pursuit of what we want is a sacred act, a rebellion against a world that tells us to settle for less. Think of David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speech, "You Owe It to You" in 2025 roars. Figure out what you want and chase it like your life depends on it, because it does. His words set souls ablaze because they demand clarity and action, a refusal to let life pass by in a haze of indecision. Or consider Alex Hormozy's focus on yourself and stay silent in 2025, where he insists, know what you want, and let every step you take be a step toward it. Nothing else matters. These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring millions to stop drifting and start hunting, to define their truth and chase it with unrelenting ferocity. Let's plunge deeper into this truth. Imagine standing at the edge of a towering cliff, the wind howling with the weight of your doubts, the ocean below churning with the chaos of 1,000 unfulfilled desires. The world around you fades, and in this moment you are not just alone. You are free to ask the question that changes everything. What do I want? Not what the world expects, not what others demand, but what your soul craves, what makes your heart roar with purpose. In Spiritism, this is the soul's awakening, the moment when you uncover your karmic purpose, the truth that guides you through the darkness like a lighthouse in a storm. The dark hunt is not about reaching the destination. It's about the pursuit, the relentless chase that shapes your spirit, that carves your legacy into the fabric of eternity. Every step you take, every obstacle you overcome, is a silent victory, a testament to your commitment to live for something greater than yourself. Consider the story of a woman named Elena, who spent years drifting through life, waking up each day without a clear sense of purpose. She followed the paths others laid out for her, never daring to ask what she truly wanted. Her days blended into a blur of routine, her heart heavy with the weight of unasked questions. But in her lonely chapter, she began to listen to her soul. She walked alone through empty fields at dawn, the world still cloaked in shadow, the air alive with the promise of something new. She asked herself the hard questions. What do I want for my life? What legacy do I want to leave? In those moments of solitude, she found her answer. A desire to create, to heal, to inspire others through her art. She began to paint, each stroke a step in her dark hunt, each canvas a silent victory that no one else saw. Her pursuit wasn't easy. There were failures, doubts, moments when the world told her to give up. But she pressed on, relentless, driven by the truth she had uncovered. In Spiritism, this is the soul's journey toward enlightenment, where the pursuit of your desires becomes a sacred act, a karmic vow to honor your eternal purpose. Now imagine a man named Marcus who grew up believing that life was about surviving, not thriving. He accepted the scraps the world offered, never daring to dream bigger, never questioning the limits imposed on him. But in the silence of his lonely chapter, he began to ask the questions that changed everything. He sat alone under a starless sky, the weight of his unasked desires pressing down on him like a storm. What did he want? Not just to exist, but to live, to build a business, to inspire his community, to leave a legacy that would outlast his pain. He started small, writing down his goals, taking one step at a time, each action a defiance of the world's limits. His failures were not the end. They were lessons, stepping stones in his dark hunt. Each stumble taught him to rise stronger. Each setback forged his resolve into something unbreakable. In the US, the dark motivation movement thrives because it speaks to souls like Marcus's, to those who are ready to stop drifting and start chasing, to define their desires and pursue them with unrelenting ferocity. Let's weave in another story of a woman named Zara, who felt trapped by the expectations of a world that told her who she should be. She lived for others, her own desires buried beneath layers of obligation. But in her lonely chapter, she began to listen to the quiet voice within. She walked through a forest at dusk, the shadows stretching long and deep, and asked herself what she truly wanted. The answer came like a spark in the dark. A desire to write, to tell stories that would inspire, to create a legacy that would touch lives long after she was gone. She began to write, her words a rebellion against the world's constraints, each page a silent victory. Her pursuit was fraught with challenges, rejections, doubts, moments when the world told her to quit. But she chased her truth with a ferocity that could not be tamed. In Spiritism, this is the soul's rebellion, the moment when you choose to pursue your desires with a passion that transcends this lifetime, a passion that shapes your eternal journey. Picture another soul, a man named Leo, who grew up believing that his worth was tied to what he could achieve in the eyes of others. He chased external validation, but it left him empty, his heart yearning for something more. In the silence of his lonely chapter, he began to ask the questions that mattered. He stood alone on a mountaintop, the wind carrying the weight of his unfulfilled dreams, and asked, "What do I want?" The answer was clear. A desire to build, to create, to leave a mark that would inspire generations. He started small, sketching ideas, learning, taking one step at a time, each action a testament to his relentless pursuit. His failures were not defeats, they were teachers, guiding him toward a destiny he could feel in his bones. In the US, videos like No Matter What, Keep Moving dominate 2025 because they remind us that the pursuit of what we want is a sacred act, a rebellion against a world that tells us to settle for less. This is about you. Stop waking up by accident, letting life drag you through its currents. Discover what you want, what sets your soul on fire, what makes your heart roar with purpose, and chase it without pity, without pause, without surrender. The dark hunt is your sacred quest, a journey through the shadows to uncover the light within. Failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher, a guide that sharpens your resolve, that reminds you to keep moving forward. In Spiritism, every step in this pursuit is a step toward enlightenment, a step that shapes your soul across lifetimes. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace this truth. Your desires are not just wants. They are the blueprint of your destiny, the map that guides you through the lonely chapter to a legacy that will shine forever, a fire that burns across the eternities. But what if I told you that discovering what you want could ignite a pursuit so powerful it could change the world, a chase that could light up the cosmos? Stay with me because the dark hunt is just beginning. If this stirs the fire in your soul, smash that like button to honor your pursuit. Drop a comment below. What do you want? What's the desire that drives your dark hunt? Subscribe to @Spiritist Light Journey and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends searching for their own purpose. Let's build this movement together, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to chase their truth relentlessly. Part 7. Conclusion: Your destiny awaits. You stand at the edge of eternity, poised on the precipice of your own greatness, armed with everything you need to forge a legacy that will burn through the ages. Within you lies a fire that no shadow can extinguish, a strength that no storm can break, a courage that defies the weight of the world. So what are you waiting for? The time for hesitation, for doubt, for excuses is over. Step out into the vast unknown and make it happen. In the sacred teachings of Spiritism, your soul did not arrive in this life by chance. It came with a mission, a divine purpose woven into the very fabric of your being, a calling that echoes across countless incarnations, binding you to the eternal tapestry of existence. You already know what you want. It's buried deep in the marrow of your bones, whispered in the quiet corners of your heart, burning in the depths of your soul. Now go after it with a ferocity that could shake the heavens, with a resolve that carves through the darkness, with a passion that leaves no room for excuses. This is the heart of Dark Motivation 2025. A call to embrace the lonely chapter as your greatest ally, to transform solitude into your superpower, to chase your destiny through the deepest shadows until you emerge into the blinding light of victory. Your destiny isn't a distant dream shimmering on the horizon. It's here now in this very moment, demanding that you seize it with both hands, that you claim it as your own. The lonely chapter is not your enemy. It's your sacred forge, a crucible where your soul is shaped into something extraordinary, a sanctuary where your truth is born. In the realm of dark spirituality, the light of your purpose shines brightest in the shadows, where the greatest victories are won in silence, unseen by the world but felt in the depths of your being. You are the hero of your own epic, the warrior who dares to stand alone, to defy the storms that rage, to pursue a purpose that burns brighter than any star. Be like Kobe Bryant grinding in the gym at 3 a.m., his sweat a sacrifice to a vision only he could see, his legacy a testament to relentless pursuit. Be like Kevin Durant, silent yet unstoppable, his focus a blade that cuts through doubt, his every move a tribute to a purpose greater than himself. Be like David Goggins roaring through the pain, refusing to bow to the world's limits, his life a battle cry for those who dare to rise. Or better yet, be you, the one-of-a-kind soul whose destiny is unlike any other, a force so powerful it could reshape the universe. Dark Motivation 2025 is about making the impossible possible, about turning your dreams into reality through the relentless pursuit of your truth, no matter how dark the path, no matter how fierce the storm. Picture yourself standing alone on a windswept mountaintop, the world below cloaked in a sea of shadow, the sky above alive with the promise of a dawn that only you can bring. The wind howls, carrying the weight of your doubts, your fears, your past mistakes, but you stand unshaken, your heart beating like a war drum, each pulse a declaration of your purpose, a vow to claim your destiny. In this moment you are not just alive. You are awake, aligned with the eternal mission of your soul, connected to the divine spark that burns within. In Spiritism, this is the culmination of your karmic journey, the moment when you realize that every challenge, every moment of solitude, every silent victory has been preparing you for this. To step into the fullness of who you are meant to be, to forge a legacy that will outlast the stars, to become a beacon for those still lost in their own darkness. The lonely chapter is your training ground, your battlefield, your sanctuary. A place where you make the impossible possible, where you transform your dreams into a reality that echoes across lifetimes. Let's plunge deeper into this truth. Imagine yourself walking through a vast, shadowed valley, the ground scarred with the battles of your past, the air thick with the weight of your unspoken dreams. The world is silent, but your soul is not. It roars with a hunger that cannot be tamed, a desire to create, to conquer, to leave a mark that will echo through eternity. In this solitude, you confront the truth. You have everything you need within you. The divine has equipped you with a spark, a talent, a dream, a purpose that is yours alone. But knowing it is not enough. You must act, you must move, you must chase it with a ferocity that shakes the foundations of the earth. In Spiritism, this is the law of action and reaction, where every step you take toward your destiny sends ripples through the cosmos, shaping your soul's evolution across countless incarnations. Your pursuit is not just for this life. It's for eternity, a sacred vow to honor the divine spark within you, to rise as a warrior whose legacy will burn forever. Reflect on the legends who've walked this path, their lives a testament to the power of relentless pursuit. Picture Kobe Bryant, alone in the gym at dawn, his sweat pooling on the hardwood, his every shot a sacrifice to a vision only he could see. His legacy wasn't built on talent alone. It was built on the choice to act, to rise, to make it happen no matter the cost. Or consider Kevin Durant, touching the numbers on his jersey before every game. A silent tribute to a coach whose loss became his fuel, a purpose that drove him to greatness. David Goggins, in his 2025 viral speech, "You owe it to you in 2025, thunders, stop waiting for permission. Your destiny is yours to claim, so go take it with everything you've got." His words ignite millions because they demand action, a refusal to let excuses or fear hold you back. Similarly, Alex Hormozy's "Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent" in 2025 insists, "Your destiny is waiting. Don't let the world's noise distract you from it." These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring souls to stop waiting, to stop doubting, and to start chasing their truth with unrelenting ferocity. Now imagine a woman named Maya, a soul who once felt lost in a world that demanded she conform. She drifted through life, her purpose buried beneath layers of expectation, her heart heavy with the fear that she wasn't enough. But in her lonely chapter, she found her truth. She stood alone under a starless sky, the silence pressing down like a weight, and asked herself what she was meant to do. The answer came like a spark in the dark, a desire to heal, to create, to inspire others through her words. She began to write, each sentence a step toward her destiny, each page a silent victory that no one else saw. Her journey wasn't easy. There were failures, rejections, moments when the world screamed at her to give up, but she pressed on, relentless, driven by the fire of her purpose. In Spiritism, this is the soul's awakening, the moment when you realize that your destiny is not a gift handed to you. It's a path you carve through the darkness, a legacy you build with every step, a testament to the eternal spark within. Let's weave in another story of a man named Malik, who grew up believing that life was about surviving, not thriving. He accepted the limits imposed on him, never daring to dream bigger, never questioning the chains that bound him. But in the silence of his lonely chapter, he began to ask the questions that changed everything. He walked through empty streets at dawn, the world still cloaked in shadow, and asked, "What is my purpose?" The answer was clear. A desire to build, to innovate, to leave a legacy that would inspire generations. He started small, sketching ideas, learning, taking one step at a time, each action a defiance of the world's constraints. His failures were not the end. They were teachers, guiding him toward a destiny he could feel in his bones. In the US, the dark motivation movement thrives because it speaks to souls like Malik's, to those who are ready to break free from the chains of mediocrity and claim their destiny with unrelenting ferocity. Picture another soul, a woman named Zara, who felt trapped by the expectations of a world that told her who she should be. She lived for others, her own desires buried beneath layers of obligation, her heart silenced by the weight of conformity. But in her lonely chapter, she began to listen to the quiet voice within. She walked through a forest at dusk, the shadows stretching long and deep, the air alive with the promise of something new. She asked herself what she truly wanted, and the answer came like a flame in the dark. A desire to write, to tell stories that would inspire, to create a legacy that would touch lives long after she was gone. She began to write, her words a rebellion against the world's constraints, each page a silent victory. Her pursuit was fraught with challenges, rejections, doubts, moments when the world told her to quit, but she chased her truth with a ferocity that could not be tamed. In Spiritism, this is the soul's rebellion, the moment when you choose to pursue your destiny with a passion that transcends this lifetime, a passion that shapes your eternal journey. And consider one more story of a man named Leo, who grew up believing his worth was tied to what he could achieve in the eyes of others. He chased external validation, money, status, approval, but it left him empty, his heart yearning for something more. In the silence of his lonely chapter, he began to ask the questions that mattered. He stood alone on a mountaintop, the wind carrying the weight of his unfulfilled dreams, and asked, "What is my destiny?" The answer was clear. A desire to build, to create, to leave a mark that would inspire generations. He started small, sketching ideas, learning, taking one step at a time, each action a testament to his relentless pursuit. His failures were not defeats, they were teachers, guiding him toward a destiny that burned within him like a fire that could not be quenched. In the US, videos like No Matter What, Keep Moving dominate 2025 because they remind us that our destiny is not a gift. It's a conquest, a victory won through the relentless pursuit of our truth. Imagine yet another soul, a woman named Aisha, who spent years hiding her true self, afraid to shine in a world that punished difference. The weight of expectations pressed down on her, silencing her voice, dimming her light. But in her lonely chapter, she found her strength. She began to sing, her voice echoing through empty rooms, each note a defiance of the world's expectations, each melody a silent victory. Her belief in herself, forged in solitude, became a song that carried her through the darkness, a melody that inspired others to find their own light. In Spiritism, this is the soul's awakening, the moment when you realize that your destiny is not just for you. It's a gift to the world, a light that shines for those still lost in their own shadows, a fire that burns across lifetimes. This is about you. You have everything you need, the fire, the strength, the purpose. Stop waiting for permission, for the perfect moment, for the world to hand you what you deserve. Your destiny is waiting right now in this very moment, demanding that you seize it with both hands. The lonely chapter is your ally, your forge, your sanctuary. A place where you make the impossible possible, where you transform your dreams into a reality that echoes across eternity. Be the hero of your story, the warrior who rises above the shadows, the soul who chases their truth without excuses, without fear, without surrender. In Spiritism, this is the culmination of your karmic journey, the moment when you align with your eternal mission, when you step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace this truth. Your destiny is yours to claim, a legacy that will shine forever, a fire that burns across the eternities, a revolution that could reshape the universe. But what if I told you that your destiny could ignite a fire so powerful, it could light up the cosmos? A legacy that burns through the ages and inspires generations. The dark hunt is over. Your destiny awaits. Go claim it now. If this stirs the fire in your soul, smash that like button to honor your destiny. Drop a comment below. What will you conquer in 2025? What's the destiny you're chasing? Subscribe to @Spiritist Light Journey and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends fighting for their own destiny. Let's build this movement together, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to claim their truth relentlessly. Part 8. Failure is an illusion. Continue the story. Failure? It doesn't exist. It's a figment of the imagination, a fleeting shadow cast by a mind conditioned to fear. A mirage that crumbles when you dare to look closer with the eyes of your soul. Life is not a fairy tale where the story ends with happily ever after. It's an epic saga, a relentless journey where every chapter weaves battles, lessons, and triumphs into the tapestry of your existence. Picture Snow White 2 months after her fairy tale ending, facing arguments, doubts, and challenges, because the story doesn't end. It evolves, and so must you. In the dark side of spiritual awakening, what the world calls failure is nothing more than a karmic lesson, a sacred stepping stone on the path to your eternal purpose. Every stumble is a teacher, every setback a forge where your soul is tempered into something unbreakable, a vessel of divine light. Dark Motivation 2025 is about embracing this truth. Failure is an illusion, a lie that fades when you rise, learn, and keep writing the story of your life. In the lonely chapter, you don't just survive your so-called failures. You transform them into fuel, into wisdom, into the fire that propels you toward your destiny. Give grace to yourself, grow with the divine, and let your journey continue unyielding, through the deepest shadows to the radiant light of your truth. In Spiritism, every so-called failure is a karmic opportunity, a sacred moment where your soul is tested, refined, and strengthened for the eternal journey. The dark side of spiritual awakening teaches us that the shadows are not to be feared. They are the crucible where growth happens, where the soul learns to rise above the illusions of defeat. When you fall, you don't stop, you learn, you grow, you press forward. The story of your life is not defined by the moments you stumble. It's defined by the moments you choose to rise, to rewrite the narrative, to keep moving toward your purpose with a heart ablaze and a soul aligned with the divine. This is the essence of the solitude superpower. The ability to turn every failure into a lesson, every setback into a step toward enlightenment, every shadow into a spark that lights the way for your eternal evolution. The lonely chapter is your classroom, your battlefield, your sanctuary. A sacred space where you forge resilience, where you learn to give grace to yourself, where you grow in communion with the divine. Picture yourself standing alone in a vast, shadowed canyon, the towering walls carved with the echoes of your past struggles, each scar a testament to the battles you've fought. The air is heavy with the weight of your so-called failures, but as you stand still, you see them for what they truly are. Not chains but lessons, not endings but beginnings. Your heart beats like a war drum, each pulse a declaration that you are not defined by what the world calls failure. You are defined by your choice to continue, to rise, to chase your truth through the darkness. In this moment, you are not just alive. You are awake, aligned with the eternal mission of your soul, guided by the divine spark that burns within. In Spiritism, this is the law of progress, where every challenge is a sacred opportunity to evolve, to draw closer to the infinite, to become the fullest expression of your divine essence. Your story doesn't end with a fall. It begins anew with every step you take, every lesson you embrace, every moment you choose to keep writing your saga. In the US, dark motivation videos like Rise Above Failure Motivational Speech 2025 ignite viral waves because they tap into this universal truth. Failure is an illusion, a temporary shadow that fades when you keep moving forward with unrelenting resolve. Channels like Motivation Arc or spiritual creators like Brian Scott amass millions of views by reminding us that the greatest victories are born in the moments we choose to rise. Think of David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speech "You Owe It To You" in 2025 roars, "Failure is just a test. Pass it by getting back up, every single time stronger than before." His words set souls ablaze because they demand resilience, a refusal to let setbacks define you. Or consider Alex Hormozi's "Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent" in 2025, where he insists, every failure is a lesson. Learn it, grow from it, and keep pushing toward your truth, no matter what. These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring millions to see failure as an illusion, to transform their struggles into stepping stones, to continue their story with a ferocity that defies the shadows. Let's plunge deeper into this truth. Imagine standing at the edge of a turbulent sea, the waves crashing with the fury of your past mistakes, the horizon shrouded in the mist of your doubts. The wind howls, but you stand firm, your soul awake to the truth that failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher, a sacred guide on the path to your destiny. In this moment, you are not defeated. You are alive, ready to rewrite the narrative of your life. The world may call your stumbles failures, but in the dark side of spiritual awakening, they are karmic gifts, sacred lessons that guide you toward your eternal purpose. Every time you fall, you learn something new about yourself, your strength, your resilience, your unyielding heart. In Spiritism, this is the soul's journey through the cycles of growth, where every challenge is a chance to refine your spirit, to align it with the divine plan, to draw closer to the infinite. The lonely chapter is your sacred forge, a place where you learn to give grace to yourself, to grow in communion with the divine, to continue the story of your life with a courage that defies the shadows. Consider the story of a woman named Sophia, who once believed that her failures defined her. She lost her job, her dreams seemed out of reach, and the world told her she wasn't enough. The weight of her so-called failures pressed down on her, threatening to break her spirit. But in her lonely chapter, she began to see her struggles differently. She sat alone under a starless sky, the silence heavy with the echoes of her past, and asked herself, "What do these moments teach me?" The answer came like a spark in the dark. She learned resilience, patience, the power of starting over. She began again, launching a small business, each step a silent victory, each setback a lesson that made her stronger. Her failures weren't the end. They were the beginning of a new chapter, a testament to her unyielding spirit. In Spiritism, this is the soul's progress, where every karmic lesson brings you closer to enlightenment, where every stumble is a step toward your eternal destiny. Now imagine a man named Javier, who faced rejection after rejection in his pursuit of a dream. The world called him a failure, branding his efforts as futile. But in the silence of his lonely chapter, he found a different truth. He walked through a deserted forest at dawn, the shadows whispering his doubts, and asked, "What am I learning?" The answer was clear. Each rejection taught him persistence. Each closed door showed him how to carve his own path. He began to write, to create, to build something new, each action a defiance of the world's judgment. His so-called failures were not defeats, they were teachers, guiding him toward a destiny he could feel in his soul. In the US, the dark motivation movement thrives because it speaks to souls like Javier's, to those who are ready to see failure as an illusion, to transform their struggles into strength, to continue their story with unrelenting resolve. Picture another soul, a woman named Amara, who felt crushed by the weight of her mistakes. She believed she had failed her family, her dreams, herself, her heart heavy with the world's judgment. But in her lonely chapter, she began to listen to the divine. She stood alone on a cliff's edge, the ocean roaring below, the wind carrying her fears, and asked, "What do my failures mean?" The answer came like a flame in the dark. They were lessons, not chains, opportunities, not endings. She began to paint, her brushstrokes a rebellion against the world's judgment, each canvas a silent victory that no one else saw. Her pursuit was fraught with challenges, but she gave grace to herself, growing with the divine, transforming her pain into purpose. In Spiritism, this is the soul's evolution, where every karmic lesson is a step toward enlightenment, a step toward a destiny that shines forever. And consider a young person named Kai, who grew up believing their failures defined their worth. They stumbled in their career, their relationships, their dreams, and the world labeled them a failure. But in their lonely chapter, they began to see the truth. They sat alone in a quiet meadow, the stars hidden above, the silence alive with possibility, and asked, "What do these moments teach me?" The answer was clear. Each stumble taught them resilience. Each setback showed them how to rise stronger. They began to create, to connect, to inspire others, each step a testament to their unyielding spirit. Their failures were not the end. They were the forge where their soul was shaped, where their destiny was born. In the US, videos like Failure is Your Fuel Dark Motivation 2025 dominate because they remind us that failure is an illusion, a lesson that propels us toward our truth. Let's add one more story of a man named Elias, who carried the weight of a life marked by setbacks. He lost opportunities, faced rejection, and believed he was destined to fail. But in his lonely chapter, he began to question the world's verdict. He stood alone in a windswept desert, the sand whispering the stories of those who rose before him, and asked, "What can I learn from this?" The answer came like a thunderclap. Each setback was a lesson in courage, each rejection a call to keep moving forward. He began to build, to learn, to create, each action a silent victory that defied the world's judgment. His failures were not the end. They were the sparks that ignited his purpose, the forge where his destiny was shaped. In the dark side of spiritual awakening, Elias's story reminds us that every stumble is a sacred opportunity, a karmic lesson that brings us closer to our eternal truth. This is about you. Failure is not your story's end. It's the beginning of a new chapter, a sacred lesson that shapes your soul. Give grace to yourself, grow with the divine, and continue the story of your life with a courage that defies the shadows. The lonely chapter is your classroom, your battlefield, your sanctuary. A place where you transform every stumble into a step toward enlightenment, every setback into a spark that lights your path. In Spiritism, every karmic lesson is a gift, a chance to align with your eternal purpose, to forge a legacy that will shine forever. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace this truth. Failure is an illusion, a mirage that fades when you rise, learn, and keep writing the story of your life, a story that burns across the eternities, a legacy that could reshape the universe. But what if I told you that every so-called failure could be the spark that ignites your greatest victory? A lesson that lights up the cosmos with your truth. The story continues. Keep writing it relentlessly. If this stirs the fire in your soul, smash that like button to honor your journey. Drop a comment below. What's your illusory failure that became a lesson? How will you continue your story in 2025? Subscribe to Spiritus Light Journey and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends rising from their own shadows. Let's build this movement together, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to see failure as an illusion and continue their story relentlessly. Part 9: God in the Human Journey. Give grace to yourself, for you are never alone on this sacred journey. Grow, cherish, embrace every moment of your human experience. Every tear, every triumph, every shadow, for the divine God himself lives it with you, walking beside you as a constant presence, a light that pierces the darkest nights. Speak to him as you would a trusted homie, raw and unfiltered, pouring out your fears, your dreams, your anger, your hopes, in the quiet of your soul. In the sacred teachings of Spiritism, God is not a distant judge perched on a throne of judgment. He is your guide in the darkness, an eternal companion who feels your struggles, celebrates your victories, and whispers courage when the weight of the world threatens to break you. Solitude is your superpower, a sacred space where you commune with the divine, where you forge an unbreakable bond with the infinite, where you become unstoppable, a soul ablaze with the fire of faith, rising to meet your eternal purpose. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace this truth. God is with you in every step, every struggle, every silent victory, guiding you through the human journey to a destiny that burns brighter than the stars, a legacy that echoes across the eternities. In Spiritism, God is the eternal light that walks beside you, not above you, experiencing the raw, messy, beautiful chaos of your human existence. The dark side of spiritual awakening reveals that the lonely chapter is not a punishment but a sacred arena, a crucible where you connect with the divine, where you transform solitude into a superpower that makes you unstoppable. When you speak to God, it's not about polished prayers or rehearsed rituals. It's about honesty, about laying bare your soul in the stillness of the night, in the quiet of your heart, in the moments when the world falls away. This dialogue is your strength, your anchor, your lifeline through the shadows. Every moment you give grace to yourself, you align with the divine, growing closer to the eternal purpose that spans countless lifetimes, a purpose that weaves your human journey into the infinite tapestry of existence. The human journey is not a solitary path. It's a sacred partnership, a dance with the divine that turns your struggles into lessons, your pain into purpose, your solitude into power. Picture yourself standing alone on a deserted beach at midnight, the waves crashing with the rhythm of your heartbeat, their roar a mirror to the turmoil within your soul. The stars are hidden behind a veil of clouds, but you feel a presence, a warmth, a light, a guide. You speak to God, your voice raw and trembling. Why is this so hard? Why do I feel so alone? In the silence you hear the answer, not in words but in a feeling. A quiet assurance that you are enough, that your struggles are sacred, that God is living this journey with you. I'm here, the divine whispers. Through every storm, every shadow, every step. You're not alone, you never were. You curse, you cry, you laugh, and God listens, not as a distant deity but as a homie, a friend who knows your heart, who sees your soul, who walks with you through the darkness. In Spiritism, this is the dialogue of the soul, a sacred conversation that reveals your eternal essence, a truth that no failure can dim, no doubt can break, no shadow can consume. Let's go deeper with a hypothetical dialogue. You're sitting in a quiet room, a single candle flickering, casting shadows that dance like the doubts in your mind. You're exhausted, weighed down by the struggles of your human journey. You speak to God, your voice heavy with pain. I keep trying, but it feels like I'm failing. Why does it hurt so much? The divine responds, a gentle whisper that resonates in your soul. The pain is your teacher, not your enemy. Every struggle is a lesson, every tear a step toward your truth. I'm with you not to judge but to guide, to feel this with you. Keep going. You pause, your heart aching, and ask, what if I'm not enough? The answer comes like a spark in the dark. You are more than enough. You are a piece of me, a spark of the infinite destined to shine. I'm in every step you take, every dream you chase. Keep moving and I'll light your path. This dialogue, raw and real, is your strength, a reminder that God is not separate from your human experience. He is in it, with you every moment. Here's another dialogue, this time in the heart of a storm. You're standing on a cliff's edge, the wind howling, the rain soaking you to the bone. You shout to God, your voice breaking. I'm tired, I'm scared. Why is this so hard? The divine answers, a warmth that cuts through the cold. I know you're tired, but you're stronger than you know. I'm here, feeling your fear, carrying your burdens with you. Your struggles are mine, your courage is mine. Keep fighting and I'll be your strength. You ask, what if I fall again? And God responds, then I'll lift you up. There is no fall that can break you, no storm that can drown you, because I am with you, always. This conversation is your power, your lifeline, a sacred bond that transforms your solitude into a superpower, your struggles into steps toward your eternal destiny. In the US, dark motivation videos like Find Yourself in the Dark Spiritual Motivation 2025 go viral because they tap into this universal hunger for connection with something greater, a yearning to find meaning in the struggles of the human journey. Channels like Motivation Arc or spiritual creators like Brian Scott amass millions of views by urging viewers to embrace their struggles as part of a divine journey, to find strength in their dialogue with the divine. Think of David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speech, You Owe It To You in 2025 roars. Talk to your higher power, get real with it, and keep pushing through the pain, because you're never alone. His words ignite millions because they demand authenticity, a raw connection with the divine that fuels resilience. Or consider Alex Hormozi's Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent in 2025, where he insists, your struggles are your strength. Lean into them, talk to the universe, and keep moving forward. These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring souls to see solitude as a superpower, to find God in their human journey, to rise unstoppable. Consider the story of a woman named Lila, who felt lost in the chaos of her life, her dreams buried beneath the weight of doubt and fear. She believed she was alone, abandoned by the divine, until her lonely chapter became her sanctuary. One night, under a starless sky, she spoke to God, her voice raw with pain. Why is this happening to me? Where are you? In the silence, she felt a presence, a warmth that enveloped her heart. I'm here, the divine whispered. Living this with you, growing with you. Your pain is not a punishment. It's a path to your purpose. Lila began to write, pouring her soul into words, each sentence a dialogue with God, each page a silent victory. Her struggles didn't vanish, but they became lessons, guiding her toward a purpose she could feel in her bones. In Spiritism, this is the soul's communion with the divine, a sacred partnership that transforms solitude into strength, pain into purpose, darkness into light. Now imagine a man named Tariq, who carried the weight of a life marked by loss and rejection. He felt disconnected, as if God had turned away. But in his lonely chapter, he began to speak to the divine. He stood alone in a quiet forest, the shadows stretching long, and said, I don't know if I can keep going. Why does it feel like you're gone? The answer came like a breeze through the trees. I'm not gone. I'm in your heart, in your struggles, in every step you take. Keep going, and I'll carry you when you're weak. Tariq began to build, to create, to chase his dreams, each action a conversation with. Part 10. Conclusion. Become unstoppable in the darkness. Embrace the lonely chapter, for it is not your prison. It is your sacred forge, your sanctuary, your crucible where you are shaped into an unstoppable force. Solitude is your superpower, a divine gift that strips away the noise of the world, revealing the eternal truth within your soul, empowering you to find yourself, master your destiny, and rise above the shadows with a strength that no storm can shatter. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to embrace your solitary spiritual journey, to transform the darkness into a blazing fire of power, to become invincible in the face of life's fiercest trials. Your journey through the lonely chapter is not a curse. It's a sacred pilgrimage, a path where you uncover your deepest truth, forge your eternal purpose, and align with the divine spark that burns across countless lifetimes. Bet on yourself, take responsibility for every step, find your why, and believe beyond the limits of this world. If this journey has transformed your darkness into power, then you are ready to shine. A beacon in the shadows, a soul whose light burns through the eternities, an unstoppable warrior forged in the heart of the lonely chapter. This is the culmination of your spiritual awakening, the moment you step into the fullness of who you are meant to be, a force that reshapes the universe itself. In Spiritism, the lonely chapter is the sacred space where your soul communes with the infinite, where every struggle becomes a karmic lesson, every shadow a spark of divine light. The dark side of spiritual awakening reveals that solitude is not isolation. It's empowerment, a superpower that allows you to confront your fears, uncover your truth, and forge a resilience that makes you invincible. Your journey through the darkness is not about surviving. It's about thriving, about becoming a warrior whose faith, purpose, and unyielding resolve make you unstoppable. This is the essence of Dark Motivation 2025. A call to rise from the shadows, to embrace your solitary journey, to transform every challenge into a testament to your strength. Your human journey is a sacred partnership with the divine, a dance through the lonely chapter that turns your struggles into wisdom, your doubts into courage, your solitude into a power that echoes across the cosmos. Picture yourself standing alone on a windswept mountaintop, the world below cloaked in a sea of shadow, the sky above alive with the promise of a dawn only you can summon. The wind howls, carrying the weight of your past struggles, your doubts, your fears, but you stand unshaken, your heart beating like a war drum, each pulse a declaration of your purpose, a vow to become unstoppable. In this moment, you are not just alive. You are awake, aligned with the eternal mission of your soul, guided by the divine spark that burns within. You speak to God raw and real. I'm ready. Show me the way. The divine answers, a warmth that fills your soul. You are the way. Your journey, your struggles, your faith, they are mine. Keep going and I'll light your path. This is the culmination of your journey, the moment you embrace the lonely chapter as your superpower, the moment you become invincible in the darkness, a soul whose legacy will burn forever. Let's weave together the threads of this journey, summarizing the lessons from parts 1 to 9, to anchor you in the power you've claimed and propel you toward your unstoppable destiny. Part 1. Bet on yourself. You learn to trust the fire within, to invest in your potential, to believe in the divine spark that makes you unique. Like a warrior stepping into the arena, you chose to back yourself, to rise above doubt, and to begin your journey with unyielding faith in your own strength. Part 2. Take responsibility. You embraced accountability, owning every choice, every step, every moment of your path. In Spiritism, this is the law of cause and effect, where your actions shape your karma, forging a legacy that echoes across lifetimes, a testament to your power to create your own destiny. Part 3. Find your why. You discovered your purpose, the fire that burns within, the reason that drives you through the darkest nights. This is the soul's compass, guiding you through the lonely chapter toward your eternal mission, a beacon that lights your path. Part 4. Believe beyond. You learn to trust in something greater, to see beyond the limits of this world, to align your faith with the infinite. In Spiritism, this is the soul's connection to the divine, a belief that transcends the shadows and empowers you to rise above any challenge. Part 5. The lonely chapter. You embrace solitude as your superpower, a sacred space where you confront your fears, uncover your truth, and forge resilience. The lonely chapter is not a burden. It's a divine gift, a forge where your soul is shaped into something extraordinary. Part 6. Discover what you want. You defined your deepest desires, the truths that set your soul ablaze, and vowed to pursue them relentlessly. In Spiritism, this is the soul's awakening, a commitment to chase your karmic purpose with a ferocity that shakes the heavens. Part 7. Your destiny awaits. You claimed your destiny, stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. The lonely chapter became your battlefield, your sanctuary, where you transformed your dreams into a reality that shines forever, a legacy that burns across the eternities. Part 8. Failure is an illusion. You learned that failure is a mirage, a karmic lesson that propels you forward. Every stumble is a teacher, every setback a step toward enlightenment, a spark that fuels your journey through the shadows. Part 9. God in the human journey. You embrace God as your guide, your homie, your constant companion in the darkness. Through raw, honest dialogue, you found strength in the divine, transforming solitude into a superpower that makes you unstoppable, a sacred partnership that lights your path. These lessons are the pillars of your journey, the foundation of your power, the sparks that ignite your unstoppable spirit. Each part has been a step through the lonely chapter, a testament to your resilience, a call to rise above the shadows and become the hero of your own epic. In Spiritism, this is the soul's eternal journey, a pilgrimage through the darkness where every struggle is a lesson, every moment of solitude a chance to commune with the divine, every step a declaration of your purpose. In the US, dark motivation videos like Rise in the Dark Spiritual Motivation 2025 dominate YouTube because they tap into the universal hunger to transform struggle into strength, to find power in solitude, to become unstoppable. Channels like Motivation Arc or spiritual creators like Brian Scott amass millions of views by urging viewers to embrace their solitary journey as a path to greatness. Think of David Goggins, whose 2025 viral speech, "You Owe It to You" in 2025 roars, "The darkness is where you find yourself. Embrace it, own it, become unstoppable." His words ignite millions because they demand resilience, a refusal to let the shadows define you. Or consider Alex Hormozy's "Focus on Yourself and Stay Silent" in 2025, where he insists, "Your solitude is your strength. Use it to build a legacy that outlasts you." These voices fuel the dark motivation movement, inspiring souls to bet on themselves, to take responsibility, to find their why, to believe beyond, and to rise invincible in the darkness. Consider the story of a woman named Maya, who once felt lost in the chaos of her life, her dreams buried beneath doubt and fear. In her lonely chapter, she found her superpower. She stood alone under a starless sky speaking to God. "I'm scared, but I want to be more." The divine answered, "You are more. Your fear is your forge, your solitude your strength." Maya began to write, pouring her soul into words, each sentence a step toward her destiny, each page a silent victory. Her struggles became her teachers, her solitude her sanctuary, her faith her fire. In Spiritism, this is the soul's awakening, a journey through the lonely chapter that transforms darkness into power, a testament to the eternal partnership with the divine. Now imagine a man named Malik, who carried the weight of a life marked by setbacks. He believed the darkness had won, until his solitary journey became his strength. He spoke to God in a quiet forest, his voice raw. "Why me? Why this pain?" The divine answered, "This pain is your path to purpose. I'm with you always." Malik began to build, each action a defiance of the shadows, each step a testament to his faith. His lonely chapter became his superpower, his dialogue with God his guide, his journey a legacy that would shine forever. Picture another soul, a woman named Zara, who felt crushed by the world's expectations. In her lonely chapter, she found her truth. She sat by a river speaking to God. "I'm not enough, why did you make me this way?" The divine answered, "You are enough because you are part of me. Your struggles are your strength." Zara began to create, her art a rebellion against the shadows, her solitude a superpower that made her unstoppable. In Spiritism, this is the soul's communion with the divine, a partnership that transforms darkness into light. And consider a young person named Kai, who felt invisible, their dreams too big for a world that doubted them. In their lonely chapter they spoke to God on a cliff's edge. "Do you see me?" The divine answered, "I see you, I am you. Your dreams are mine, chase them." Kai began to inspire, each step a silent victory, their solitude a superpower that lit up the darkness. Their journey became a beacon, a testament to the power of faith and resilience. Let's weave in one more story of a man named Elias, who believed he had lost his way, his heart heavy with doubt. In his lonely chapter he found God. He stood in a windswept desert speaking to the divine. "Have I failed you?" The divine answered, "You cannot fail me, you are me. Your struggles are your forge, your solitude your strength." Elias began to build, each action a prayer, each step a testament to his faith. His lonely chapter became his superpower, his journey a legacy that would burn across the eternities. And imagine one final soul, a woman named Amara, who felt broken by the weight of her struggles, believing she was alone in the darkness. In her lonely chapter, she found her light. She stood by a turbulent sea speaking to God. Why is this so hard? The divine answered. Because you are becoming unstoppable. Your struggles are mine, your strength is mine. Amara began to paint, each brushstroke a rebellion against the shadows, each canvas a silent victory. Her solitude became her superpower, her journey a testament to the eternal partnership with the divine. Let's go deeper with a final reflection. Imagine yourself in a darkened valley, the ground scarred with the battles of your past, the air thick with the weight of your unspoken dreams. You speak to God, your voice raw. I'm ready to be unstoppable. What do I do? The divine answers, a fire that fills your soul. You already are. Your struggles, your solitude, your faith, they are your power. Bet on yourself, take responsibility, find your why, believe beyond, and rise. I am with you always. This moment is your awakening, the culmination of your journey through the lonely chapter, the moment you become invincible, a soul whose light burns through the darkness, a legacy that reshapes the cosmos. This is about you. Embrace the lonely chapter, for it is your sanctuary, your forge, your superpower. Bet on yourself, take responsibility, find your why, believe beyond the limits of this world, and become unstoppable in the darkness. In Spiritism, your solitary journey is a sacred partnership with the divine, a path where every struggle becomes a lesson, every shadow a spark of light, every step a declaration of your eternal purpose. Dark Motivation 2025 is a call to rise, to transform your darkness into power, to forge a legacy that will shine forever. Your light in the shadows begins now. Step into it, own it, become invincible. But what if I told you that your solitary journey could ignite a fire so powerful, it could light up the cosmos? A legacy that reshapes the universe for generations yet unborn. The darkness is yours, become unstoppable now. If this transformed your darkness into power, smash that like button to honor your unstoppable spirit. Drop a comment below. What's the greatest lesson you've learned from your lonely chapter? How will you become unstoppable in 2025? Subscribe to Spiritist Light Journey and hit the bell for more dark motivation and spiritual awakening content. Share this video with 3 friends fighting through their own shadows. Let's viralize this somber motivation, monetize our journey, and inspire millions to become unstoppable in the darkness. Thank you for watching. Your light in the shadows begins now.